service continues.
Hey guys, so this will be my first build guide. I found it pretty easy to play all the way up into, double corrupted maps, and pretty much have no problem with anything. And so we'll just start with what the character is. Uh, Gimling Legionaire. Almost have 1,000 strength. Rest of the stats don't really matter. I'm at 6,000 life, a little over 6,000 life. You can definitely get that up if my gear wasn't kind of scuffed. It's okay though, it's decent gear. Resistances are overcapped. These can probably all get to 80%. 79, 78, 78 right now. If I want to spend a little money messing with the skill slots and the support gems, you can do that pretty easily. Like I said, I got to get the gear a little better. Chaos is 19%, but honestly, it doesn't really matter. I haven't run into any problems with that because you regen so much. The life 6,000. You're almost 600 recovery per second plus life recoup from damage taken. I did this just because instead of trying to do recouped elemental, recoup physical, blah 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 blah, this is kind of like a defensive layer for everything. You're just regening so much. Your life protects you from one shots, and your regen from all the ground effects and BS that's happening. If I drop my totem, it brings it up to almost 800 a second. Totem can be a little weak, so I like to drop it on the other side of the boss from where I'm standing. Pretty much face tank everything. Like I said, the resistances are pretty good. The mana regen is decent. You will have to use a mana flask if you're playing it like I'm playing it, with the extra resistances. And so we'll go through the passes real quick. This is what's going to give you those extra resistances. You can really juice that up. Like I said, 80% is definitely achievable on maximum resistances, which is a great defensive layer, especially if you have 6,000 hit points. This is kind of the bread and butter. Makes all the passive nodes, the stat nodes, doubled. So it's where you're getting a lot of your life from. This doesn't matter. I mean, it's good though because you can basically use any skill. So you can use blink if you want to. The last boss of the Sanctum, it's good to have blink. Other than that, you don't really ever need it. And so let's kind of go through. Here's some recoup. I'll also post the passive tree in the description too. Regeneration, you want to take a little bit of regeneration, but just having the high life is going to give you a lot of it. Just basically going towards everything with strength. This will be later. I'll want to change this once you get an Astramentus. They're like 1,500 exalted though right now, and so maybe even more. We'll change that to this lightning rod. You can take the lightning rod, but all this percent damage doesn't really do much for you. You want flat damage. Attack speed scales well. Penetration is decent, but really, so this will be awesome. Probably give you like 20% more damage once you 20 to 25 once you get an Astramentus or something like that. It's pretty expensive though to allocate, so I'm waiting until I get the right neck or amulet. Some important things: resolute technique. You don't have to worry about ever missing, even if they're at a far range. So this is good. The percentage life is worth it on this build. Most builds I'd say it's not. Basically you're grabbing all the strength that you can. This helps a little bit against crits. I think this is also good against crits too, which is nice, so you don't get one shot. Very rarely will you ever get one shot. This is an important little node because you get rage here, and then I think I have one on a jewel, and so it's 2 rage per hit. It's going to give you 30% more attack damage which is pretty great. It's like a really good extra support gem just from taking one node. So recovery rate is good. Rest of the stuff is mostly strength. You can see I'm just going different places at this point. Polymath is important. You could take these stats, but I just pretty much stick with strength. Got a lot of jewel sockets. You could, I dropped an adorned diamond off of the last boss in the ultimatum, and so, which I sold it, but you could make these all magic corrupt, and you could get definitely a lot more damage out of the build, and grab a few more of those jewel sockets, and it'll give you like a 50 to 100% would be good. They're gonna be 100 exalted or more, but that's like later stuff. And then I just took these from the quarter stay just because the 25 dex attack speed scales pretty well, and so it's decent. It's not something you have to. If you wanted to, you could just take this and get all strength. You'd have a little more life, and you'd do just fine. I would suggest a little bit of region though, which scales really well off of your because you have such high life. Go through my gear. This is what I think probably the best staff would be. It's got a corrupt 3 to 60 lightning damage, which I think is the best. And they're pretty easy to sit and corrupt too. You may want a percentage, 20% it before you corrupt it, but it'll give you like 2 or 3 more physical damage, which is not nothing. And then I put the 2 lightning nodes in there, and so it's pretty juicy. Your scaling, the best scaling you do is off flat damage. I'm using this for right now, but you could use a rare helm, lose a little bit of strength, and then get a lot more resistances and probably a little more life. But this one's pretty decent. Amulet's kind of okay, just resistances, strength. I don't even have life on the amulet yet. This is okay, low life, but the region, so the steel plate's what you're going to want, and you want something with high region on it. So it goes up to 2.5%, which is huge. Rings, just flat. The best ring is going to be flat physical, flat lightning, life, strength, and then probably 2 resistances. So they can be improved for sure. Same thing, physical lightning on the gloves. You could go try flat damage and no life on all of these, and you'd be fine and have a ton more damage. But once again, strength. You're just getting strength on all the items. Really, you don't even need all of this stuff. You don't even need life or anything like that. You want maybe a flat roll to begin with of lightning and whatever resistances you need. Once again, strength, resistances. Craft of these boots are decent. They do have some good life on them. But flasks, I haven't upgraded those yet. I'm just using these basic ones, and I don't really ever feel the need to use any of the charms besides the rarity one, because you don't really get stunned or frozen or anything. So that's basically the gear. The Atlas passive, what I like is this corrupted waystone here. If you corrupt a waystone, say T15, T16, you corrupt a waystone, and then so get it where you want it, rarity wise, and then you corrupt it, and then when you use it, it corrupts it again, so it double corrupts it. So you can get some crazy maps, 600% waystone, increased waystone drops, and all kinds of mods. They are hard. Most builds probably can't do them, but you won't really have any problem with them. And you'll get a lot of map drops. That's just whatever. The quantity is good, and then I got a lot of increased waystone stuff to get lots of maps. So, and T15, T16 is pretty good. I haven't really you won't really have any problem running any of them. You can run them all double corrupted, and you don't really have to look at the mods at all. You just do it. Now, if they're a real juiced one, you may want to actually play, but generally you don't have to dodge roll at all. Skill gems. This is what I like. It's kind of like lightning strike, but you can do this. You can use any staff skill gem that you want to. It doesn't matter. You could use a level 1 skill gem and you're still going to be clearing T16 maps because it's all the flat damage from the staff is scaling. So this is just a mode, whatever mode you want to use to deliver that damage. You know, the skill doesn't matter. This is probably my favorite one because it has a really high effective damage and good range. This is even with concentrated effect on, and the range is good. The biggest thing and the reason why I use this is because it shotguns, so you can hit with all 3 of these waves. And on bosses, easy to shotgun. The rest of them, you want to be a little closer if you want to shotgun something, but you just explode everything. It doesn't really matter. So it's really 3 times this damage, and then also your close combat isn't calculated here. Your rage, which is 30% more damage, isn't calculated here, and your penetration isn't calculated here. So, you know, a couple 100,000 a second, I'd say you can probably get to, maybe 150, something like that, or even more if you have good rolls. I just go by how it feels, really, because you're going to be hitting with 3 of these every time, and this is going to be also hit by the close combat. So, Storm Wave, I got a 6 link. You can do T16 maps on a 3 link. It doesn't matter. Martial Tempo, the attack speed feels good, especially because you're using Upheaval, which slows it down, and you do less damage. So Primal Armament, it's just generally good. You never want to change either one of these. All 3 of these can be changed. Concentrated effect, more damage, it's good, but less area of effect, it doesn't really matter. Close combat, like I said, it's not showing up here, but you want to be within 3.5 meters, and you're getting, basically you face tank everything, so it doesn't matter. So you're going to get this, and Upheaval to get those 2 extra fissures, which I like. You can change these out sometimes, like in a couple of the bosses in Sanctum. I'll trade these out and do like a penetration. Overcharge is actually really good. You get like almost a 50% shock, which is pretty good. So it's surprising. And then long shot, if I want to hit stuff really far away, now I can basically off-screen stuff. So that's about the only gems I switch. It's a pretty good build, and trying to think, if you have any questions, just leave a comment. I'll try to answer them. You can basically do all content, and it costs about 3 exalted to get started, because all you need is this staff. It doesn't have to be corrupt. You can put 2 of these in there, and you'll just run through the axe. You don't have to worry about resistances until you get to maps, really. So this staff, this helmet is nice, probably costs you 1 or 2 exalt, and then just put whatever gear that you have on while you're, whatever you can find while you're leveling, and then try to get some resistances once you get to the maps. And then the ultimate goal would be really get these up to 80 and cap them, overcap them a little bit, and then if you want to be cool, you can get some chaos resistance too. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, give it a like, and then just give a comment if you have any questions. It's pretty simple. You can play it with any skill, and the passive tree, get a lot of strength. You could also switch it up. I've played a lot of iterations of it at this point. You can go crit and play with some of the other any monk build you can play. You could use a lot of dexterity and get a ton of attack speed. I like this because then you don't have to worry about mana. If you don't want to worry about mana, get rid of these. Let's see. Get rid of these two and respec them over to the quality and 30% less cost of skills. And so then you won't have to if you don't want to click your mana flask. But really it's a one button build. I use Voltaic Mark sometimes, Conductivity sometimes, use my Totem, Flicker Strike occasionally if I just want to Flicker Strike to an enemy for fun. But really you just need, oh yeah, I use Herald of Ash with Vitality, Clarity, and Herald of Thunder. So you basically just explode all the packs. The rest of these are just here to give me the resistances, so they don't really matter. But the bread and butter is Stormwave, and you want Herald of Ash and Herald of Thunder. And these two, either one you can use. They're probably about the same. So, alright, enjoy the build, guys.